I got a funny story for you today. I'm Angelo, been homeless for a year, homeless filmmaker in Los Angeles. I wanted to go see a table read of a what's called a blacklist screenplay. They're supposed to be like really good unproduced screenplays. It was a table read, so a bunch of actors were going to sit around and read it. The actors included TARAN KILLAM, Pharoah, both from Saturday Night Live, Natasha Rothwell, also from Saturday Night Live, but she was a writer on there. I don't know if she still is. They had an episode last night, so if she's in LA, I don't think she is anymore. And I remember her because about 10 years ago in DC, I was hired to shoot a storytelling show where she performed at, and I always remembered her performance. I filmed her there. I have no idea where that video is. I wouldn't put it up here anyway. I gave it to the person who ran the show. But I always remembered her performance. And I couldn't believe when I saw she was added as a cast writer, just a writer to Saturday Night Live. They had, what's his name, Toby Cole or something? Toby Cole? I can't remember his name now. I'll put them all on screen. Basically a bunch of talented actors. And so, you know, just a room full of, you know, incredibly famous celebrities, and me, an incredibly famous celebrity, and it was no big deal. I was indecisive about buying tickets. I thought maybe I'll get them closer to the show if I decide I've gotten enough done today. I don't want to commit to it right away. Then a couple hours before the show yesterday, I thought, okay, I'll go buy tickets. I looked at it, went to the link, and I saw, okay, Ricardo Montalban Theatre. Let me at least look up that theater and see what it looks like inside. And I saw pictures, I was like, oh no. The ceiling is too high. I can't go. I have a fear of high ceilings. It is so bad. I would be terrified to be there. And I was thinking, well, maybe if I get on the ground floor, it won't be so bad. Even though, yeah, my fear is high ceilings. If I'm on a balcony and I can still see down and see up, it terrifies me. If I'm on the ground floor, it kind of makes it a little better. It can still be a little tense. I got to grip the seat. But especially if I'm all the way in the back under the balcony, again, which I don't want to be. I want to be up close. But if I'm up close looking up, oh, it's going to scare the shit out of me. So, and by the way, this fear is called altocelarophobia, a fear of high ceilings. People have it, but it's so uncommon. It's not even listed in like any list of phobias for doctors. And I was like, oh shit, well maybe I can get ground floor tickets. And I think they had them for sale, like still for a little bit. Then I went back after looking at pictures for like 30 minutes, trying to find like, okay, how accurate is this picture? You know, if it's a really wide lens, it'll make it look taller than it is. I'm like, maybe the ceiling's not as high as I thought. And I look up the dimensions, I'm like, damn, 33 feet to the ceiling? I'm like, that's pretty high. And then I thought, well, what's it going to be like? The lights are going to be bright on the stage. I'm going to be looking up the actors. Oh, I felt sick already thinking about it. And then I thought, well, I went to the Strathmore in like 2012 to see Video Games Live. And there I was too scared to sit in the balcony. And so I went back to the box office and paid extra to get a ticket on the ground floor, and which made it better. That one guy came out up on stage and played from the audience and played like Pac-Man or something, or Pong, I forget. And he had to look up at the ceiling. I was like, oh no, I could never do that. It was uncomfortable for me to look up. It's scary for me to remember it. But I was doing all this research, went back to the page, and then the ground floor tickets were sold out. And then also the early bird tickets were sold out, so it was 25 bucks instead of 20. And so then only the mezzanine or balcony seats were available. I was like, thought about it for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh hell no, I'm gonna be fucking terrified. I imagine what it would be like to sit up there, and I'm scared now thinking about it, looking down, constantly feeling like that zero-G sensation when you're on the top of a roller coaster and it's about to go down that first drop. That's what it feels like all the time. I cannot get it out of my head. There are other people who experience this. You look up my altocelarophobia video, you see a bunch of comments from people who also have this fear and who talk about how people don't believe them and it's miserable going to school or whatever if they, you know, have a big gym, and that was a little scary for me too. going to the gym, and every fucking week go to those damn churches with high ceilings. It was child abuse, and a bunch of birds just flew by and in unison landed on a chain link fence. And I thought, oh man, I can't do it. Oh, it hurt. I really wanted to go see it. It was a comedy script, an unproduced comedy script. I really wanted to go. I thought maybe there'd be maybe I'll talk to people after the show in the audience, or talk to the people next to me. And, I always try and do that. Always try and say something to people around me. Maybe meet some of the actors after the show. Natasha Rothwell, I would have told you, hey, I filmed you back in DC. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, it still hurts, and not only hurts, the pain is still there of that sensation of being in a place in a high ceiling and realizing, oh, this is going to clash with my life out here in LA. It almost did at the theater where Dodsworth played, the Samuel Goldwyn Theater. It wasn't bad for the most part, but when they played a segment from TCM where Robert Osborne did an intro for Dodsworth, the thing is, the picture was so bright at that point. Well, you could see the reflection sort of the TCM footage on the ceiling, and it scared me. And I was like, oh crap, can I stay for this? But once the movie started, it's also dark, and I'm in the motion of the movie, and it was black and white. That helped. So it's like there was no color lighting up the screen. It was kind of dark. It was a beautiful picture, but it helped me be able to concentrate and not be so worried about the high ceiling. I really didn't worry about it the whole movie. It was only during that intro segment that it scared me. But yeah, it hurt, because I'm like, damn. And I know at this point it's like no point feeling too bad over it. I made the most of it. I did a bunch of reading yesterday. I'm reading another book on screenplays. I finally got The Nutshell Technique by Jill Chamberlain, and that's a good book. And I finished another book. Oh, and I also ordered finally the new Jackie Chan autobiography. And I read his first one, which is great, but it probably could be embellished, I'm betting, because it's just two storybooks, some of the stories. I love the book. The stories are fantastic, but this one, supposedly, he's a little more brutally honest about his affairs, his child from another woman while he was married. And he wrote it himself in Chinese, and now it's translated to English. The other one, he had someone writing it with him in English, so I kind of wonder, like how celebrity autobiographies, you always got to think like, well, how much is this just propaganda for their movies? It's like a commercial to see their movies, or is it, a story they actually wanted to tell? Anyways, I ordered his Jackie Chan's new book. I forgot already the name of it, but I'm really interested in reading that. And so like I said, I made the most of it, except that, like, hey, some things just can't control like that. But damn, it was upsetting that I had to miss that. I still did a lot. I still did a lot of reading, and working closer, and just thinking like carefully about, okay, stop being a coward and just get the story done that I want. I know I can do it. I'm taking it very seriously, and just know, okay, I'm going to keep going forward, keep doing a lot. Today I was lucky daylight savings. I was like, I'm surprisingly well rested at 4:30 in the morning, and then I could lie down another hour. So we should just do that every day. Just move the clock back 1 hour. So yeah, man, it was upsetting that I had to miss that. I'm like, shit. I never thought my fear would catch up with me like this, to where it actually affects something I want to do. Most places I'm not too interested in going, or I wouldn't mind skipping it. The Kennedy Center back in DC was really scary for me. My parents would bring me there. Really, my dad would bring me there when I was younger and occasionally see shows, and it just scared me to sit in the balcony. I hated it. Plus, I could not, back then, my mind could not key in and focus on a single word in any play. I literally could not pay attention to anything in plays. We saw Showboat. I had no fucking idea what the story was. We saw other shows, other places, Guys and Dolls, and I forget. Says fuck it, couldn't do it. Could not concentrate. Now I enjoy plays a lot more, but yeah, it hurt. Oh my goodness, it hurt to have to miss this and realize it's just my own fear. And like, I'm gonna be limited in what I can do in certain places. I can never go to the Oscars, never. I've seen, you know, that auditorium. To me, everyone should run out of there screaming because it is so scary and saying, you put a low fake ceiling in there for us. I cannot do it. Oh, that's so terrifying. So now I just accept, yeah, certain places I just can't go. But it's okay. Like, I find something else to do. Never get too down about it. If I really wanted to go out somewhere, I could have gone somewhere else. I could have looked up another show or something, just gone to a play or whatever. And I've got some stuff I'm planning on doing today, including screening Hulk Mom videos somewhere for a live audience. So also, obviously, I don't want to be an athlete, but if you were an athlete with this fear, I don't see how you could ever perform and compete in like the NBA, MLB, oh, even NHL, NFL, because with those huge stadiums, it was scary for me to sit in them. You know, I've gone to like 2 or 3 games like that. College basketball, whatever, you just can't, I don't see, it wouldn't be possible to look up for, you know, a jump shot or something. It would terrify you, or terrify me. So anyway, it's just a funny story today about my fear. Now that I got the light coming in, this is nice. And then I'm gonna go, well, I was gonna say shower, but probably, you know, go number 2 first, and then shower. Oh, while we're talking about shows, check out Pig with the Face of a Boy. They're the people who did the history of the Soviet Union to the tune of Tetris. I reached out to one of those guys, the main writer and performer. I said, hey, I'm such a huge fan, you know, I just want to let you know. And he's like, great, if you want to support, you know, here's some albums we did. I bought all the albums, and they're geniuses. So, and their albums are genius. It's just out of this world how well produced and everything it is. So I'm going to link to one of them in the description, and go check it out on Amazon. You can get the album, just download them on there. I know everybody knows that now. For me, it's still kind of a novelty because, you know, growing up, we had cassette tapes and then CDs. My first DVD player was PlayStation 2. I was excited just to have a PlayStation 2 for that. Anyways, oh yeah, and you would use the controller to, you know, go through the menus and stuff. That was kind of cool. Now I'm getting memories of that now, just how much my hands were around those controllers, because I would play tons of games. When I come home from school Friday night, just play 8-9 hours of games until my eyes watered, just to deal with the stress of being in school. So that's my funny story of how I was too scared to see Taran Killam, Natasha Rothwell, Pharoah, and several other talented actors